Hi learners! In this video, you will be learning about the experimental research design. Experimental research is conducted to study the cause and effect relationship between variables under study. You must have heard about experimentation in pure sciences. Behavioral scientists and physical scientists have been using experimentation in research since a long period of time. Experimentation is becoming very common among social scientists also. The main purpose of experimental research is to establish the cause and effect relationship. Let's discuss an example of experimental research. A researcher wants to establish the relationship between persuasive communication and purchase intentions of probiotic products. In this design of experiment, a group of students was formed and their purchase intention was recorded. After this, a 5-minute persuasive lecture was delivered to the same group and their purchase intention was measured again. It was found that the purchase intention to buy probiotic products increased after delivering the persuasive lecture. The researcher concluded that there was a cause and effect relationship between persuasive communication and purchase intention of probiotic products. Now, let's discuss the design in detail. Let's first talk about the components of experimental design. The first is the subjects. In experimental research, participants are known as subjects, not respondents. In the words of Zygmunt, the sampling units for an experiment, usually human respondents who provide measures based on experimental manipulation, are called subjects. The next component of an experimental design is the variable. A variable is defined as anything that has a quantity or quality that varies. The variable may be independent or a dependent variable. An independent variable is the variable that is changed or manipulated in a series of experiments. This type of variable has an impact on the dependent variable. The dependent variable is the aspect or the subject of an experiment that is influenced by the manipulated aspect and outcome measured to see the effectiveness of the treatment. In the previous example, persuasive communication in the form of a lecture will be considered as the independent variable. There can be other variables in the design which a researcher cannot manipulate, such as gender, age, etc. These variables will be referred to as blocking variables. The next component is the experimental conditions. An experimental condition refers to one of the possible levels of an experimental variable manipulation. Another component of experimental design is the experimental outcome. The key outcome in the experimental design is the dependent variable. In the last example, purchase intention to buy the product is the outcome variable. To better understand the experimental design, it is advised to use various symbols. So let's have an idea of the various symbols used for experimental design. The first is X. X is the exposure of a group to an experimental treatment. The next is O. O is the observation or measurement of the dependent variable. If more than one observation or measurement is taken, subscripts, that is O1, O2, etc., indicate temporal order. The third is R. R refers to random assignment of test units. R symbolizes that individuals selected as subjects for the experiment are randomly assigned to the experimental groups. The control group. The control group is a group of subjects to which no experimental treatment is given. Experimental group. It is a group of subjects to which experimental treatment is given. So learners, in this video, we gained an insight into what an experimental design is, and we got to know about the components, symbols, and key terms that an experimental design involves. Thank you.